Hello, good people of the YouTubes. My name is Querbeet2004 and I play World of Tanks. I'm coming at you with the Russian tank destroyer of Tier 7 SU-100M1. It's fully upgraded. And let's see what we can do with it. Fully upgraded means, of course, I am running the Tier 7 100mm LB-1S with its 100, and if I'm not completely wrong, it has 170 or 175 millimeter of penetration, which is not bad for a Tier 7 tank destroyer. I would say you can easily survive and do some damage in Tier 8 matches, no problem. Yeah, right off the bat, I tell you like it is. I don't enjoy this machine too much. It's not that I say it is a bad machine. It's more like it's a little difficult to explain. The machine or the vehicle is quite mobile. As such, I am more often really tempted to push the W key in order to move, because it's that agile, it accelerates quite well, and I understand that apparently this is a feature of the second tank destroyer line of the Russians that they have patched in, but that causes some troubles for me in terms of I am really having problems to getting used to this. I can't keep myself away from rushing around with the thing and more or less playing it like a medium tank, which is not the correct way, because it's meant to be a camping machine and or fire support from the second line. But as you see it here, we're quite upfront here. Okay, we are supporting that KV-1S up front there, yeah, but for a tank destroyer I feel it's a little bit too much, not too much, too close to the front, and you will note what I meant in a second. But have a look on the mini-map in the top left corner what's going on there. I will come back to that a little later. I started to realize that I was quite concentrated on clearing out the opponents on this side, but we were already talking about in Skype about what are we doing about this massive enemy force on that top left corner, and we were at this point we're saying, okay, let's try to kill these two guys off relatively fast, and then we go to defense. So what I did, like, I thought, what, I handle this as a medium tank again and be a little bit aggressive. I know that in this situation, especially in this situation here now, I'm extremely lucky that I didn't get killed, because I'm out in the open. They have still two artilleries left, and I thought now or never. And okay, that was the first hit. I think that was an artillery shell. I'm not too sure about that, but now I thought, okay, now it's just this guy, and then I go and defend. At that moment, my platoon mate said, I go on offense. Like, all right, okay. I thought we defending, but what he actually did was quite a good thing, because you will see that in a little bit. Check his icon on the minimap. He holds down the center bridge, and it's kind of supporting the offense, supporting the defense kind of thing. I guess one could say. Well, my decision was made. I'm going back, trying to prevent them from capping. I know that a shitstorm is coming up, and that we are quite on our own here with the Churchill in my back now, and yeah, me overlooking this street, and there you go, bam. Yeah, I was lucky to hit the guy, but that is what happens if you mess with Querbeet 2004. Yeah, just kidding. yeah, that was my game plan, to be honest, to try and prevent the access or not the access, prevent the other team from crossing the road. And I think that was, so. It was not really successful because they crossed the road, but what can you do with just a tank destroyer? Um, but now, if you have a look to my platoon mate, keep an eye on him on the minimap. He is starting to move over soon, as I told him in the um, in in Skype, mate. I need your help. That's really really tough fight here for me against 3 tanks. And then he moved eventually, and I think we managed quite well from that point of working together and in using Skype to our advantage. And yeah, this is the result. I'd like to talk briefly about the tank again, or the tank destroyer. It is a relatively vulnerable tank destroyer. We all know that tank destroyers are not that heavily armored, so keeping that in mind, this especially is quite vulnerable. I have the feeling the armor on this tank is literally made of paper. I don't use these metaphors quite often when it comes to tanks, because I don't believe that there's any paper tank, because by now the majority of players know that angling your front part towards the enemy in the right angle increases the net amount of armor you have available to you and stuff like that. But it's not at all apparent. Is that the right word? Apparent? Well, you don't have that effect at all in this tank, and that is quite surprising to me, especially because it's a Russian tank destroyer. I always had the impression that the Russian tank destroyers are a little bit more sturdy and can a little bit withstand damage, but apparently this new line of tank destroyers are more like the fast mobile. They're following these dogma of fast and mobile, and therefore using their mobility and their relatively accurate gun as their main weapon, so to speak. So I needed to adjust my game style a little bit, which I admit I still have problems to do that, and I'm not really good in this type of tank destroyer. I wouldn't say I struggle, but it's a little bit difficult for me, especially when I'm not playing that much as I used to. Oh well. So here we sat in. I mean, you clearly see I told him, or we agreed, that he goes in first. He has more hit points left, and well, bam! That happens when you mess with the experts. Yeah, the Tiger really stand no chance. I mean, we were 2 guys from attacking him from his back. That is always, almost always a guaranteed kill. So now we were saying, okay, I go to the east and try to check there, and he was supposed to go to the west side, but he didn't. He was going to, he said that he is going to cap, and I said, all right. I was more, thinking about defending, because at this point in time in games, when you have 2 artilleries left, is usually what is going to happen is one artillery stays behind and the other artillery shows up, and yeah, that is, I think that is definitely what is going to happen here. In a second, you see that the other artillery is not visible, the Hummel is visible, and that is exactly what happened. I was a little surprised that I didn't caught a arty shell as the Hummel spotted me, but the explanation for that follows relatively soon, as didn't have a shooting lane. But now, I mean, keeping in mind my hit points, I told my platoon mate to go in and try to flank the arty from behind and or from its back, and I try to keep it away from the road uh, with my presence. I think he knows that I'm covering the road, and that therefore he didn't show up. And so my platoon mate could go in and get the kill. So that is what happens if you really focus on playing together as a platoon. We delivered 11 kills for our team, so that's is that 3/3? Yeah, that is more than 3/3, 2/3 of the opponent team. Just our platoon. So platooning really does the job for me and getting the fun of the game back. That wargaming is destroying step by step. It's just, I think, and to be really frank with you, I expect me leaving the game anytime soon because of what they're doing with on the test server right now, and with the E-50 and with that new British tank destroyer. That is just ridiculous. And um, you know their whole way of doing business is becomes more and more annoying and not acceptable for me. So I don't know, but you like that video if you really enjoyed what you just saw, and if you want to stay on top of WOT content, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I see you guys later. I did enjoy that video, and I hope you do too. Bye.